In this video, I'm going to show you how to make this awesome octopus. This one was designed by a fan, Lotte, so thank you for your design, and she gave me permission to make a tutorial on this octopus. And an octopus obviously needs 8 legs, so that's what this one has, and they all move separately and they're very flubby. And this is what you'll need: a rainbow loom or a monster tail, 208 blue bands, 3 black bands, and your hook. You want to make sure that the 3 rows of your rainbow loom are even with each other, so I'm going to need to take out my middle row. What you want to do is you turn it around, and with the back of your hook, you take out the blue parts of your loom. And then you can very easily take out the middle row and replace it so that all the pins are next to each other or even with each other and on one single row, like that. If you're using a monster tail, obviously you can skip this step. You could just use the 6 pins on your monster tail and ignore the ones on the side. Okay, once you've done that, you want to turn your rainbow loom to the side so that the side is facing you, and pick out 6 pins that you want to make your octopus on. So you want to take 3 pins on the row that's closest to you and 3 pins on the row behind that one. Now we're going to start with 2 blue bands on the leftmost pin of the row that's closest to you, and then you're going to move it diagonally up and to the rightmost pin on the second row. Then you're going to use 2 blue bands and do it the other way, so from the rightmost pin on the row closest to you to the leftmost pin on the row that's behind that one. So you made an X. And then you add 2 blue bands from the middle pin on the row closest to you to the middle pin on the row behind that one. Now what we're going to do is you grab 1 blue band and you move that blue band from the left pin to the middle pin, middle to the right on the row that's closest to you, then from right up, from upper right to left to the middle, and then upper middle to the upper left, and then connect the 2 left pins with a blue band. Once you've done that, we can start hooking. So grab your hook, and with your hook, you grab the bottom 2 blue bands on every single pin, and you move them up over the pin and to the middle of the 6 pins. So also want to make sure that you grab these 2 blue bands from the outside of the pin, so you don't need to put your hook inside of the pin or inside of the bands. You grab it from the outside. So you grab the bottom 2 blue bands and you move it up and over the pin to the center of the 6 pins, like that. And once you've done that on every single pin, you want to go ahead and push down all the bands on the pins to make room for the next layer. And the next layer is going to be another rectangle. So you grab 1 blue band, you start from the bottom left, and you stretch that blue band out to the bottom middle, then from the bottom middle pin to the bottom right, then from right to the upper right, then from upper right to the upper middle to upper left, and then connect the 2 left pins again. And then you grab your hook again and you do the same thing. You grab the bottom 2 blue bands on every single pin and you move them up and over inside of the rectangle. And of course you're going to do that on every single pin and also from the outside of the pins, so you don't need to put your hook inside of the pins. And you grab the bottom 2 bands. Once you've done that, you can push down all the bands again. And now we're going to start working on our 3rd layer. And for the 3rd layer, we want to add some eyes. So what you want to do is you grab a black band and you put it in your hook. Then you twist it into the shape of an 8 and you put your hook back inside the other side of your band. Then you twist it again and you put your hook inside of that black band. And once you've done that 3 times, that's going to be 1 eye. And now you grab a blue band, you put it on the outer end of your hook, and you hold on to the other side with a finger. Then you move the black bands from the hook onto your rubber band, like that. So once you've done that, that's the first eye. and you put that blue band on the bottom left and the bottom middle pin. Now we're going to do the same thing. So you grab another black band, you put it around your hook 3 times, like that, and you put that black band onto a blue band. And once you've done that, you have 2 eyes for your octopus. And, oops, there you go. You have 2 eyes for your octopus. And you add the second eye from the middle pin to the right pin on the row that's closest to you. And now you continue the rectangle with blue bands. Of course, you don't add any more eyes to it because you don't want your octopus to have 6 eyes. So you grab another blue band and you start from the right pin on the row that's closest to you, and you move it up to the furthest right pin. Then from the far right to the far middle to far left, and then you connect the 2 left pins with blue bands. And once you're done with that, you grab the bottom 2 blue bands on every single pin, and you just move them over with your hook to the center of your rectangle. And of course you do just that same thing on the 2 pins, or actually on the 3 pins that have the 2 eyes on them. So you just continue doing what you've been doing so far. Then after you're done, you want to push down all the bands on your pins to make room for the next layer. And in total, we're going to add 2 more layers. So you continue making this rectangle, that's the first layer. Then with your hook, you grab the bottom 2 bands and you move them up and over the pins to the center of the rectangle. And then you create a new rectangle with blue bands. And that is going to be your second layer. Second layer from the eyes, by the way. And once you've done that, you want to push everything down again. And now we're going to add the mouth. What you do is you put a black band on your hook and you twist it and you put it back over your hook. So it's kind of like the eye, but instead of 3 times, we just do it 2 times, like that. Then what you want to do is you want to put that folded black band on the blue band that's on the middle pin on the row closest to you. So with your hook, you take off the blue band from that pin, then you move your black band onto that, and then you put your blue band back on the center pin on the row that's closest to you, like that. And then what you want to do is you want to add another layer of blue bands. So create that rectangle layer again. And we're not just going to add 1, we're going to add 2. But first you do your first layer, then you grab your hook and you move the bottom bands over the pins to the center of your rectangle. And once you've done that, you can add your second blue layer. And it's going to be a little bit tight in your Rainbow Loom, but this all should fit. So once you've done the second layer, then you move the bottom bands over your pins to the center of your rectangle again, and then your octopus head is done. So now what we're going to do is we're going to create the legs of the octopus. And what you want to do is you grab a blue band and make it into a cap band. So you put it around 2 fingers, stretch it out, twist it into the shape of an 8, and then fold it back double over your fingers, or you just fold the cap band double. And then you put it in an 8 shape on 2 pins, like that. Then you grab another blue band and another one, and you put those 2 onto your 2 pins, like that. Then with your hook, you grab the bottom cap band and you move it up and over your pins to the middle of the 2 pins. And once you've done that, you can push it down and add a new blue band. Once the blue band is added, it's very simple from here. You just grab the bottom band and move it up and over your pin to the center of the 2 pins. And then you want to continue doing this until you've used a total of 18 bands. And after the 18th band, there's 2 more bands you got to add, but it's a little bit different, so I will explain it to you then. So basically just continue making this fishtail. I'm going to speed up this footage because I think you can do this on your own. If you need to listen to the explanation again, you can just rewind the video and listen to the explanation again, because that's what YouTube videos are for. Yay! And I just totally sounded like a sheep. So anyway, just continue making this fishtail until you've used a total of 18 blue bands. And once you've done that, you want to grab a new blue band and make it into a cap band. So put it around 2 fingers, stretch it out, twist it into the shape of an 8, and fold it back double over your fingers. Then you put it on the 2 pins. Then you hook the bottom band over the 2 pins. And then you add just a regular blue band on these 2 pins. And what you want to do then is you hook the very, very bottom bands, except for the top one. You grab those in your hook and you move them up and over the pins into the center of the 2 pins, like this. And once you've done that, after watching me struggle doing that, hurry up, come on, man. Anyway, okay. So once you've done that, you want to add it onto your octopus. So this is what it looks like. Then you have to take it off of your pins, but you gotta be super careful not to let go of that band that's on your pins, because once you do, then the whole leg will fall apart. So you just move over that band onto the first pin and the second pin on the row that's closest to you. Once you've done that, you want to create another leg and another one and another one until you have a total of 8 legs. But as you can see, I'm counting only 6 spaces. So what do we do? What do we do? I don't know. Basically, you put a leg between every pin, but on the leftmost and the rightmost 2 pins, you add 2 legs. So here I'm going to show you. Here's a leg and another leg on top of that on the very right. And then we add more legs and more legs, and our 7th leg and the 8th leg, blah, blah, blah. That's a really tough thing to say, on the leftmost 2 pins. So now we have a total of 8 legs, and we are going to finish this off by grabbing the bottom 2 bands on every single pin with our hook. And sometimes you may have to move your legs out of the way, so that's okay, you can move them. And then you grab the bottom 2 bands on the pin with your hook. Then you move them up and over your pin to the center of the rectangle. And just make sure that you do this on every single pin, so don't lose track of it. That's very important, because if you don't do it, then your leg's gonna fall off and then you don't have an octopus, you have a 6-opus or something like that. Now, the hard part, because your bands can slip off the pins, so you want to be very careful that that's not going to happen. But basically, you grab the bands that are on the pins and you move them onto your hook. So the first 2 or 3 are very easy, then the 4th and the 5th and 6th ones are a little bit difficult. And as you can see, it's so difficult that I can't even get it properly in screen. But basically, you get the idea. So you want to put all of those bands on your hook, and then you grab blue bands to finish off your octopus. Now, if you want, you can fill it up right now that it's still open. You can still fill it up after the fact, but it might be a little easier like this. So you grab 2 blue bands, and then basically you pull those blue bands through all of the blue bands that are on your hook. So basically you put those bands that were on your hook onto the 2 blue bands, and then you put your hook through both sides of the blue bands. And to finish off the octopus, all we have to do is make a slip knot. So you take the 2 blue bands that are furthest away from the outer end of your hook, and you move that one over the other 2 blue bands and off of the hook, like that. And then you pull on the 2 blue bands that are on your hook. Now be careful, very, 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 very careful not to pull too hard, because if you pull too hard, then the bands are going to break, and then your octopus is going to fall apart, and we don't want your octopus to fall apart, because that would be a waste of your very, very precious time. So now my octopus head looks a little weird, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to fix it a little bit with my hook, and once I've done that, basically that's what it looks like. So you can definitely fix it if it ends up looking a little odd. Now we want to get rid of that, loose band from the slip knot. So you put your hook through the back of your octopus and then push it into the head of the octopus. Now what you can do too, as I mentioned earlier, you can still stuff the octopus head if you want to make it look a little fuller. I actually think it looks fine like this, but of course that's up to you, whatever you want. And this is what it looks like. As you can see, I made a purple octopus as well because I think they look so super cute together, and I love blue and purple as a combination. And of course you can make octopuses with multiple colors. You can make a rainbow octopus or a silver one with pink and purple and anything you want. Anyway, leave a comment below what you thought of this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!